Hello again, YouTube. Got a quick little project for you today. I'm going to be changing the cabin air filter on my Honda S2000. This is the filter that I bought. It's an aftermarket filter. Cost about 10 bucks online. There's the part number if you're interested. Take a quick look inside. Now the cabin air filter, otherwise known as the dust and pollen filter, at least here in the US with our left-hand drive cars, it's located on the right side of the car under the cowl. In the UK with right-hand drive cars, it's located on the opposite side. The first thing we want to do is remove the hood's weather stripping, and you don't want to just pull on this because you'll end up ripping the clips right out of the rubber. Now what you can do is use a 5mm socket, get underneath these clips, and you can quickly pop them out safely without ripping it. Now, there's one here, and I'm going to remove a third one over here. Start with the middle one. If you just take the socket and put it over the tip of the clip and push upward, you'll hear it click, and then you can remove the clip out of the hole. Let's do the one on the end. Again, just hook it over the end, push up until it clicks. And it comes right out. It'll help to remove this clip, pull the wiring harness forward and out of the way. Now I can get to this third clip right here easier. Alright, now our weather stripping is clear. So you can see how these clips and the weather stripping are just embedded in the rubber. If you were to pull hard on that thing, you'd rip them right out. And there's a label right here on the end of the cowl. And it says, of all things, up. What do you think we're supposed to do there? There's one plastic clip back here. You can see the yellow. There's another one right back there. But we really only need to lift this high enough so we can get to the white canister that houses the filter itself. Now taking a closer look at the filter housing, it's got a little tab on the front right here. If you press this tab toward the back to release it, then the housing can come straight up. Then we can pull it out all the way. Well, here's our old filter, looking pretty darn grungy. I don't know if this thing's ever been changed before I bought the car, but it's the first time I've looked at it, and it looks like a good maintenance item to be taken care of. Now I flip it over, it's got 4 clips on each of the edges, and we should be able to just pop the filter out of these clips. Actually, it only has 3 clips. There's no clip on the front edge. Now, working the clips loose, you can push the whole filter out of the housing. What a mess. Lots of dust and leaves and just a bunch of junk down in the pleats of the old filter. I think I'll clean up the housing a little bit. There we go, that looks a little bit more presentable. Pull out the new one. Here's our new filter. Nice and clean and pristine. It's got weather stripping on the corners. And curiously, it's got a label on it. And this label says airflow with arrows pointing down. However, it goes into the filter housing this way, and the air flows this way from the cowl down into the air conditioning and heating system of the car. So I don't know what the deal is with that label, but it's clearly wrong. So put the filter in the frame. I'm going to flip the frame over, set it into the frame, and get it underneath these 3 clips. And that's all there is to it. Ready to go back in the car. Now to put this back in the car, there's a little tab here that goes toward the rear, and of course the clip that we released that's in the front. Now perhaps the only really challenging part to this whole process is getting this tab into the slot under the cowl. So I'll give you a real close-up view of what I'm talking about because it's not really obvious until you get in here. There it is, right there. There's the little slot under which the tab has to go. So it's going to be a little bit fiddly. Gonna have to do some maneuvering to get it down into the hole and under that slot. So I stuck a chunk of wood here to hold the cowl up out of the way. So there we go. I had to kind of come in this way and go all the way down and make sure it stayed all the way down, and then slid it toward the rear, and that tab went into that slot pretty easily. Now we'll just snap this front clip into place. I'm kind of lifting it from the rear just to feel and make sure that tab is in the slot, and it feels like we're good. Now my reassembly should be quite easy. Get my chunk of wood out of the way. I want to get my rear clips in place first. One here. And one here. And then make sure the cowl is all the way down. And put the weather stripping clips back in their holes. And we'll slide the wiring harness back up into place. That's all there is to it. At $10, that was cheap maintenance. Why pay somebody else to do it when you can do it yourself? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.